This is Jordan Welsh, and well, he just might be YouTube's next superstar. Jordan's videos have exploded in the last year, and he's been popping up with some of the most influential and richest people that you can imagine. Like this guy, or this guy, oh yeah, or that guy. Jordan went from making dropshipping videos to getting some of the world's most successful people to share their secrets on camera, but I know he's learned a lot that he hasn't put in his videos, so I had to get him on the channel for you guys. As fate would have it, earlier this year, my good friend Luke Belmar had just invited me on a trip to Switzerland, which I knew Jordan was going to be on as well. So I did what any of you guys would have done, booked a flight to Switzerland. I did get Jordan to sit down and shoot a video with me, and let me tell you guys something. His story is nothing short of sensational. I don't see any way you will be able to leave this video without feeling inspired. And I got him to drop some of the secret sauce he's learned along the way to the top. So be sure to stick around if you want to level up this year. And without further ado, I give to you Jordan Welsh. All right, guys, today is going to be an incredible video, but I quickly have to talk to you about something that almost certainly relates to you if you are seeing this video, because listen, if you want to level up, if you want to make money on the internet now, you have to have access to the right people, the right resources, and I know how hard it can be to find that in a sea of influencers promoting their courses. You should know, and you might already know, that I've spent the last year and some change building a community that is strictly dedicated to helping people level up, make money through trading, through networking, through live trainings. And no, this isn't me launching some new course or program. This is a publicly proven and tested thing. We've produced over 2,000 testimonials from our community, totaling hundreds of thousands in profit. We literally every single day have people coming in and posting wins that outsize their entire membership fee in a single day. It's all there for you to look at. We have masterminds coming in to speak to our community every single month. Luke Belmar, who I'm sure you guys all know, is this month's guest coming in to speak directly with into our small community of members. We just added an algorithm trading bot that you can put on all assets on TradingView, crypto and otherwise, which automatically sends buy and sell signals on every single asset. This is something that would cost you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a year to buy by yourself, and we just added it for free. We launched our new upgraded accelerator program this February, and it sold out spots in under 10 minutes. It was quite literally a frenzy, but now for the first time, we are launching a new application that will only be open for 24 hours. So if you think you deserve a spot and want to skip an over 100-person waitlist for an uber-focused group that is producing real wins every single day and not selling fake courses and fake value, you can apply below and we'll review your application ASAP. Anyway, let's get right into today's video with Jordan Welsh. Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined today in beautiful Zermatt, Switzerland by somebody that I consider a young legend in the finance YouTube genre. I am joined by none other than Jordan Welsh. Now, a lot of you watching this video today probably know who this guy is, but on the off chance that you don't, can we get a quick Jordan Welsh intro?
Yeah, I've been an entrepreneur and a creator pretty much my whole life, and now I get the honor to do it as a full-time career. So we have a YouTube channel all about my journey as a business owner, and now we're sharing the stories of other entrepreneurs all around the world.
Absolutely, dude. Well, you know, one of my favorite things to do on this channel is tell stories to not only inspire people, but show people that it's possible to change their life, primarily financially, which is why I wanted to talk to you, because I think you have one of the dopest and heavily documented journeys of your life from where you were some years ago to where you are now out of anybody in the game. And I want to dive right into it today. I want to talk about your story. I want to talk about how you made your money and how your life has changed. So the first thing I wanted to ask you, right, is that even for the folks who know who you are now, right, but maybe haven't dived all the way into sort of your catalog, which is, again, publicly documented everywhere. Where were you at the start of this journey? Did this start in high school for you? When did you become an entrepreneur?
I think the first time I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur was when I was about like 11, 12 years old, because me, my mom, and my sister had finally got our first house. My mom had really worked hard and got to the point where she got her first house. But in about 365 days after we got that house, we ended up going into foreclosure. and we actually got to leave the house, and I had to say goodbye to my mom because of some personal stuff that was going on. And the reason for that was because her job wasn't paying her well enough. And because of that, she couldn't sustain the lifestyle of us having that house. And it was at that point in time I knew that that wasn't a path that I wanted to go on. It was at that point that I knew I wanted better for myself, and I wanted to create something bigger. Now, the first time I ever made money on the internet was probably when I was 13 or 14 years old. It was actually from editing videos for people online.
Editing video? Like you were doing edits for other YouTubers?
Well, yes, because I was super into video games. I always have been since I was a very young kid. And Call of Duty was really booming at this time. This was like the Modern Warfare 2 era. And I was actually an editor for a trick shotting clan. And they would pay me around $20 per video. I learned how to edit just from YouTube videos and from creating little funny skits with me and my friends. But yeah, that was the first time I made money on the internet, and that's how I started as an entrepreneur.
I used to be heavy into Modern Warfare 2 trick shotting videos, but that's how I became a big fan of Logic when I was younger. Because do you remember that? He put this song.
Yeah, Logic, Hoodie Allen. Yeah, that's an era.
100%. I had no idea that you were deep like that. A lot of the great creators I know were editing first. But to sort of rewind to something you said earlier. You mentioned what was a challenging situation in your life, which led to you making a decision to be something greater, right?
Yeah.
But I think that there are a number of people in the world who, have been faced with hardships or maybe will be faced with hardships. And when they hit that fork in the road, instead of making that decision, it puts them in a very bad place, right?
Yeah.
Or they get almost crushed by it. So I wanted to ask you, what do you think it was that allowed you to use that as a positive catalyst to turn you into who you are today, as opposed to just, kind of getting beaten down by life and the hardships you were facing at that time?
I'm only able to reflect on it now like this because it's already gone past. When I was a kid, I didn't know that was the inflection point for me when we lost our house. I was just sad and I had to leave my mom. When I was doing videos on YouTube in high school, I didn't know that this would be my career. It was just something I was doing for fun. So it wasn't as if I made this conscious decision at 12 years old to do this, but I knew that I wanted something better for myself. And then what it really was once I got a taste of it, once I knew what was possible, I became obsessed. I became obsessed, and I didn't want to settle for anything less. I felt ashamed if I had to go and get a job because I knew that there were kids that were my age making thousands of dollars a week playing Call of Duty or doing other hustles. From the Call of Duty world, I learned about all these other kids that were making money online in so many different ways. So it was like I wanted to be a part of that. I didn't want to be an outsider. Yeah, and you have to be, and I know this is personal experience, you have to be exposed to that to even believe it's possible. Yeah. By the way, which just, I almost don't blame people for thinking that some of the stuff is impossible, because until you see it, I think sometimes you don't know. But so that was your first taste of making money online, right? Editing these videos? Yeah, it wasn't real money, but it was like $20 a video. But it was money. It was money. It was enough for me to buy a new controller. I had a custom controller with paddles on it. I bought a new monitor. Like, I was lit, bro. Yeah. Well, at that age, that feels crazy, bro. At that age, that feels like buying a Urus. Like, it felt crazy. Good. And I used that money to actually start my first business. So that's what I was going to ask you. So, like, if that was your first taste, how did you level up from there and start, like, actually getting money? Well, it's a long journey, champ. I mean, I started so many different businesses in high school. I started a clothing brand. I resold sneakers. I actually created the sneaker reselling Facebook group within my city, which led me to hosting a local event. I rented out the largest convention center in my city with all the money I had saved up. It was around $2,000 at the time. And I had maybe 200 people show up. And it was a cool day for me. It was one of the days where I was like, yo, you're actually a businessman. You're actually doing this. And I was like 16 years old. I remember that day, though, very vividly, because I had a business partner, and at the end of the day, when we had our money, we had around $2,000 sitting in front of me. I was looking at it, I was like, oh my God, I doubled my money. Business partner came through, was like, yeah, I'm gonna take 1,000. DJ came through, was like, yeah, I'm gonna take 250. The event had an extra fee that they threw on. Next thing you know, I'm sitting there looking at a crisp $100 bill. I started with couple thousand, I'm ending with $100, and I'm like, what happened? And it was one of the saddest days. I remember sitting on my couch with my mom just crying.
Like after the event?
Yeah, and I was sad, bro. And she told me, like, you know, you always remember this day. Like, just keep going. Don't let this stop you. But I did let it stop me, and I took a break from entrepreneurship for probably like 2 years after that.
What were you doing in the interim?
That's when I really became obsessed with creating videos, but I wasn't doing it for YouTube. In high school, I was obsessed with this one class that we had. It was called TV production, and it was basically like the school news. So I was always on there. I was like anchoring, and I was directing the whole show. And what we did was we would make videos that we would run in the school as like commercials type thing. And I was making a new video like every single week with me and my friends. And we had done it so well that we started entering film festivals around the city. And that's what I was doing in that 2 year span. I was making a ton of videos. Me and my best friend Shay were just making music videos and skits and parodies, and literally with no intent other than to enter the film festivals. We won a bunch of prizes and to make funny commercials that everybody at my school would watch.
Were you guys like known for that at school?
Yeah, definitely.
That's funny. I can picture that too.
Yeah, I just really enjoyed it though. It wasn't like I did it because I wanted people to know me. I just enjoyed it. And I was never like an athlete or nothing like that, so that was my thing.
Well, I wasn't either, for the record, but it shines through though, obviously, because, and we'll talk about that too, because you're not only an entrepreneur, but you're a creator. But okay, so from there, right? So you started making a little bit of money online as a kid. You threw a big, which is still impressive, by the way. You threw a big event, but maybe the finances were slightly mismanaged. It was your first big one, and so that put a hard stop on entrepreneurship for a while, and you learned your creative skills. When did that entrepreneurship like tick back on? When did you start doing business again?
I went to college because I graduated high school with no money. I graduated high school poor, basically, and all my friends were getting Honda Civics and Toyotas, and I thought I loved the Civic. I wanted a Civic more than anything. I wanted a Honda Civic, and I couldn't even afford the down payment, so I had to go to college. And I felt ashamed about the fact that I had to go to college because I never wanted to go. I didn't have any scholarships. I had bad grades, so I had to take out some student loans. At the time, I was dating a girl, and I basically enrolled in college in this relationship, and I just moved on with my life at that point. I spent a whole year in college, and by the end, I realized that I'm on the wrong path. My subconscious every day was kind of like knocking on the door, like, yo, what are you doing? This is not it. And when I finished my first year of college, I looked and I had like $32,000 of student loans, but we only spent around $30,000 in that year on room and board and on tuition. So they gave me $2,000 back as a refund, which you're supposed to keep. You're supposed to use that money for books and fucking whatever. But I was like, no, I'm going to use this to start a real business. So that's when I headed down the journey of what ways can I make money online. And I saw this guy on YouTube named Sebastian Gomez, and he was young. He was about my age, and he was making like $1,000 a day selling stupid stuff on Shopify. And I was like, oh, if he can do that from Costa Rica, I can do it from my mom's office. So that's really when I focused entirely on dropshipping, and I spent that whole summer staying up every night till 2, 3 in the morning. I remember I would like put my phone next to my pillow and just wait for like the Shopify notification sound to go off, and just like, bro, I would pray and I would run ads and I would experiment and just do everything I could to get that business off the ground.
100%. And by the way, as you watch this, bear in mind that as he talks about these Honda Civics in his journey, he won't say this dude is an early 20s multimillionaire crushing it right now. But at that time, you were learning, right?
Dude, the Civic is a nice car.
Yeah, it is a nice car, but I'm just saying, I love hearing these stories from you because, I mean, it's public information how much money you made in the last couple of years. You've been.
Yeah, I'm very open about it.
Yeah, you've been, as you should be, right? Because it inspires people. I believe that's important to talk about.
Definitely.
But, so, I bring that up to say, you went from there to, obviously, over a couple of years, scaling out much more revenue. And you did content, and you did all these other things, but I want to know what the first, because I remember what it was like to chase my first like big win, right? And I very vividly remember that feeling. What was your first like big bag, like holy shit moment where you got an amount of money that you're like, oh, I'm doing this, like for real?
It sounds small, but I think the first time I looked in my bank account, I had like $10,000. I was like, bro, you're rich. Like, because at that point, I had finally got to the spot where I could move into an apartment with my friends, and my portion of the rent was like $500 a month. So I was like calculating in my head, like 5 times 12. Bro, you're good. Like, with this much money, you can live comfortably for a couple months, and you could just focus all of your energy on your business. And that was around the time that I had dropped out of college. And it was only 4 months after that I had stacked up $100,000 in my bank account. And that was a like,
yeah, what did that feel like?
I mean, growing up, my mom made around $19,000 a year. And by the end of the year, we didn't have anything left over. My family, the way we grew up was like the most exciting time of the year was around like February 12th, because you get that tax refund check.
Yeah.
We were going stupid on the tax refund check. We would get new clothes. We would go school shopping, everything. That was what my life was like. So when I looked and I had $100,000, I was like, damn, bro, you're good. In fact, you're so good that let's get out of your hometown and let's go live somewhere else.
So where'd you go?
I moved to LA.
Right. So you went out to LA and you were there for...
I lived in LA from 2018 till 2020.
And had you started YouTube at this time? When did you start creating content about your business journey?
I started my channel that people know me for today in 2017 because I was sharing my e-commerce journey on Instagram. I had like a couple hundred followers, and I was in Facebook groups. I was always sharing my journey in Facebook groups. And I just started making videos showing people what I was doing, what was working for me, because I wanted to provide value back to my friends and the people that helped me along the journey of me starting e-commerce. So I started in November of 2017.
Did the YouTube pop off immediately, or did it take a while?
I kind of like gimmicked it. So I had posted in every Facebook group that I was a part of, like a screenshot of my first $10,000 day, which was like back then, and I guess even today, that was a huge thing.
Yeah.
And I remember that post had got like 1,000 likes. I thought I was famous for the day. And I had put my YouTube link in the post, and I said, I made a video explaining exactly how I did it. And I actually got my first 1,000 subscribers in like 2 weeks. But then it like slowed down a lot.
Yeah.
But I had kickstarted it pretty quickly, and I was like, okay, I like this.
So at this time, right, so you were out in LA building your business and building your brand at the same time, right?
Yeah, after those first 1,000 subscribers in November, I really just kept posting. I would post twice a week. I thought that was the way, so I was posting twice a week.
Right, so I understand you were out in LA for a while, and because we spoke about this a little bit off camera.
Yeah.
And grew the brand a lot, right?
Well, I thought it was a lot. My ego thought it was a lot.
How big did the YouTube get?
At the highest in LA, I think I reached like 28,000 subscribers.
I mean, that's a lot more than most people have on YouTube.
No, it's small.
Yeah, I mean, it compared to what you
My
have now.
ego at the time had me thinking that I was actually doing something big, and I lived that life like I was doing something big.
Right, so that's what I wanted to talk about. I know that there was a time, and I really want you to tell this story, after you started making money and you started growing on YouTube and you started feeling successful, whenever, you know, I guess literally it essentially crashed and burned, right? You hit a big roadblock and lost almost everything that you had gotten. So can you walk me and anyone watching this video through how you reached success and subsequently lost it all?
Yeah, so I had saved about $100,000, and I decided to move to LA. And when I moved to LA, I felt like I was the man. I mean, the first week that I went to LA, I ended up going to Coachella and going to Vegas, and like literally the first week. So that's the energy that I started on. I had this luxury apartment with the Hollywood sign from my bedroom.
How much was it?
Like 4 G's a month.
Yes.
I had at least a car, a Lexus. It wasn't even a crazy car, but I wanted it, so I got it. Yeah. I was buying new clothes, updating my fashion, and within a month in LA, I think I had spent like 30 racks, like that. And then I was like, okay, let's pull it back a little bit. But I still kept up the lifestyle. And you know, the first year went by, I was still making money.
How much were you making at that time when you were spending like $30,000
I was making around $10,000 to $15,000 a month.
All right, so you were outspending your income. 100%.
Yeah, definitely. And it caught up to me slowly. Mm-hmm. It was like a slow burn. And it got to the point where, you know, a year had passed by and I realized that my money was starting to get lower and lower. So I wanted to start another business, which is the company that I run today called Viral Vault. Mm-hmm. I had started that company with a business partner, and to keep this story shorter, we had basically launched the business, stacked up around $20,000 in the first couple of months, and then me and him had a disagreement, and his reaction was to take all the money and dip, block me on everything, go on social media, just completely.
What?
Yeah. So I had lost all the money that we had stacked up from this business.
Your partner stole it.
Yes.
Oh, how much?
This is a story that I don't want to expound on too much.
Okay.
But it was around $20,000.
Okay.
And at this stage of my life, I had to now use my last bit of my savings to keep this business running, to keep up my lifestyle, and also get the business off the ground. And then 2020 rolls around. I'm running super low on money at this point. I had to pull out a line of credit. I had credit cards that were maxed out. I got on the MX blacklist. I'm no longer there. I have platinum cards for all my businesses. But I was completely blacklisted and I had no cash left. I have a screenshot on my phone. I had like $180 in my bank account, living in a luxurious apartment.
So you round tripped what to like 120 G's back to zero?
180.
180 G's back to zero?
No, negative, actually.
What did that feel like, bro, at that moment?
I was miserable.
And it's not funny, but I mean, it's funny now because you have a lot of money now, but it's not funny.
No, I was miserable, bro. I used to go on runs. I love to run. I used to cry on the run. I would just like run and like I would just like let out all my emotions and I would go running. And then I would come back and I would just sit in my room and it would just be dark and I would just be like, but that wasn't the right thing to do. So when everything changed when I got out of that environment, I came back to my mom's house and I was like, what can I do to make money? Like, what am I doing here? Like, we're doing YouTube, we're doing viral, whatever. Like, bro, how'd you make your first $100,000? E-commerce. Start another e-commerce business. It never was something I wanted to do back then because I wanted to level up to the next thing. But I went back to my roots and I went back to the thing that got me to where I was at today. So I was sleeping on my mom's couch. I was working in the same kitchen table that I was working with when I started this whole journey. And literally within 20 days, I had made $10,000 in profit. So I was like, what am I doing? Why have I not been doing this the whole time? So I cut everything, stopped YouTube, stopped coaching, stopped Viral Vault, and just started doing this again, which is what led me to creating my company Sleep Band, which a lot of people know me for. And that company, within the first year, did a couple $100,000, and I was back on my feet again.
How much revenue since then has that company done?
We sold just under $2 million in less than 2 years, and then I sold the business.
Young boss. You don't disclose how much you sold it for, right?
No, because I'm not allowed to.
Okay, all right, but it was a significant amount of capital, I assume. But okay, so anyway, this was a story I wanted to talk about, right? Because I think people on the internet have a tendency to look at people like you, right? Or even Luke, a lot of people that we're here with, and see your success and be like, oh, well, they got lucky, right? They did it, he did it one time, but you did it twice. Which is what I was gonna say earlier was that if you don't think that it's possible to make something of yourself on the internet, or you don't think, I know anything is possible is kind of a cheesy platitude, but if you don't think anything is possible, if the first story didn't tell you that it was, maybe him losing it all and going back again shows you that it is. But
the only reason that it was possible is because I put myself in the arena and developed the skills previously, which is what allowed me to build it back up again. So if there's anybody out there that's trying to get rich or make money on the internet, you have to understand that the only people that make money are the ones that have the skills that are valuable. And going on the pursuit of learning these skills is what will make you money directly. It's not a business model, it's not a strategy, it's not a mentor. It's understanding the skills required to succeed in a certain field and then mastering those skills through execution and education, which is what I did and continue to do. I'm still on that journey. That is a lifelong pursuit that never comes to an end.
So do you think that is like the core underlying key to all of this is outside of, because when people watch YouTube videos, like everyone's always looking for the sauce, right? The shortcut, so it's doing shit that people don't want to do. Learning hard skills that other people can't do.
Yeah, you can't learn skills strictly through education. You have to do them. So understand that and understand that it's difficult to learn skills. You want to learn how to get shredded in the gym, you have to show up. You want to learn how to run a 5-minute mile, you have to show up. You want to learn how to make $1 million, you have to show up.
Favorite quote of all time is "Man in the Arena" by Theodore Roosevelt, dude. And it's like exactly what you just said.
Yeah, I taught him that one.
Okay, yeah. I thought you said but "The Man in the Arena" by Jordan Welch.
No.
But speaking of, shout out to Teddy Roosevelt, wrestling bears and shit.
Didn't he have slaves though?
Oh fuck, did he?
I don't know. Continue.
Oh, okay, maybe he did. Never mind. Never mind. Fuck that quote. The principle of it is good.
I'm fucking with you, bro.
But no, it's all good. But look, like from that point onwards, you grew a lot more, right? So you didn't make $10,000 and then got here, right? Across the world in Switzerland. What happened between then and now? Because not only your business grew massively, but your YouTube fucking, excuse my language, exploded. You have almost 1 million subscribers now.
Yeah. Crazy.
When did that start again? When did you start like re-up on the content?
Well, I decided to start documenting the journey of building this brand. The same thing I did originally, but this time doing it better and focusing on making greater quality content. And I just literally documented it. I promised myself, I still have my whiteboard. I wrote new videos every Friday. So I promised myself that I was gonna post a video every Friday updating people on my journey. And I did that. I kept on the pursuit of growing my business, and I kept documenting the journey, and those things grew simultaneously. I also made changes in my personal life. I quit smoking weed. I stopped some other habits that I was doing that were super toxic, and I really just became a better man, which is what allowed me to have the opportunity to grow again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, I really like listening to people's stories because I know there's so many parallels between anybody who's watching this video, particularly with the type of audience that I have and what you've gone through. So
yeah, when I quit smoking weed, that changed a lot of stuff.
Me too, dude. I haven't even talked about this ever on my YouTube. I quit recently, dude.
Nice.
Like a few months ago, and it pretty drastically changed the way that I've gone about my day-to-day life. Okay, let me ask you this. What are some habits, what are some things that you think a lot of young people, and I speak to young men often because it's what I am, I guess. You know what I mean? Some things that people are doing on a daily or even on a weekly basis that they can cut out of their life right now that you think will put them in a better position to be successful.
Screen time. I mean, if you spend too much time on your phone doing stupid shit, it's going to fry your brain pretty quickly. I think the food that you consume has a massive impact on your focus, your clarity, your happiness. I also think the conversations you have with other people and with yourself have a profound impact on the person you become. So those are the 3 areas that I would assess.
How'd you learn positive self-talk in the face of all that adversity?
I'm still learning that one, bro. I think what it really comes down to is knowing God and trusting in his path, and also studying basic human psychology, reading books like Think and Grow Rich, reading books like The Power of Now, and also understanding that true happiness comes from the present moment. Understanding that you're not going to be happier in the future when you have something. You will be happier in the moment when you can begin to appreciate it.
Has money made you happy?
I'm definitely happier than when I was broke, but it's now brought a whole new variety of problems that bring their own challenges mentally. But I would say it's made me happier.
Yeah, it did.
It hasn't made me permanently happy,
right,
but it has made me happier. And the thing that really does it is knowing that my family is secure and knowing that if they need anything, they're good. Because there's only so much shit I can spend my money on. I'm not really out here balling out of control. So
that's a nice hoodie, but yeah, I mean,
shit
respectfully,
light,
it's a nice house too.
Go on, man.
Eddie's got the all right, but anyway, no, you're not. You're actually one of the most humble guys, respectfully, that I've ever met for the amount of money that you have.
Yeah, I'm on my consumerism shit with this fit, but I really like it, so I'm aware.
Yeah, you look good, bro. So, okay, wait. So let me ask you this, because whenever you were talking about documenting your journey, I know that I have a lot of people who consume my content who want to figure out how to build brands, right? Who want to build personal brands. And it's a complicated journey, right? I'm still figuring it out. I think from the conversations that I've had with you, you're still learning as well. So you built your brand.
Everybody's still learning.
Everyone's still learning, right? But you've built a big brand, right?
Yeah.
But if I know that I want to grow an audience, right? Yeah. But I don't know who my brand is yet, right?
Yeah.
Where should I start?
By becoming a person of value, because why would anybody listen to you if you have nothing to provide? And you can become that person through your journey of self-improvement, through your journey of starting a business, through your journey through connecting with God. And you can bring people on that journey with you. Documenting that journey is what will make people fall in love with you and respect you. You shouldn't get on the internet and pretend like you've got it all figured out, because then people won't really fuck with you. They're gonna see right through that. You might have some people that think that think you're cool and everything, but if you really want to build like a fan base of people that really love you and respect you, take them with you on the journey, you know? So it's not like, guys, I made it, and today I'm going to tell you the 5 ways to make 10K a month with ChatGPT. It's like, let me bring you along this journey of me figuring this out, and also learning the game of YouTube.
An everlasting game.
Yeah, because YouTube is just like anything else. There's strategy to it.
Right.
It's not like I just documented my journey and I just blew up. Like I studied the crap out of YouTube, like on an insane level, and I do every day still. I'm always studying YouTube.
How were you doing that?
Probably watching too many YouTube videos.
Just like watching
more than I should, and really not just watching for entertainment, but watching to understand why they do certain things. What is a hook of a video? Why did they title this video? Why does the thumbnail look like this? Why did they tell the story in this way? How does the video end? Like, I'm kind of obsessed with this stuff. And when it really started to click for me is when I started surrounding myself with other YouTubers. And I'm not talking about people in the business YouTube. I'm talking about like big YouTubers and really just understanding their logic. And then I applied the principles from the big YouTubers to my channel in the business niche, which is what I think allowed me to get some growth. But I still see my channel as a small channel, and I still feel like I've yet to barely scratch the surface of what I'm capable of. So I think there's a lot more things in store for me.
How many subscribers did you have at the beginning of last year?
250,000.
Okay, so you did like 700,000 subs last year.
No, 500.
Oh, 500,000.
Yeah, 500.
And you're about to hit 1 million right now.
In a couple months, yeah.
Okay, what's your goal for the end of this year? Where do you think you'll
be better than I was in January.
So you don't have any number goals?
I do, but I realized that, okay, funny story. Last year I had set a goal to accomplish 750,000 subscribers.
And you hit exactly that at the end of the year, right?
Exactly. So the point is, if you set a goal for a number, you will gravitate towards that number. But what if that number was lower than what you were actually capable of? Why not, instead of setting a goal, why not try to do the best that you possibly can do every single day and let things play out in the way that they will? And you might double what you think you're capable of. When we set goals, a lot of times we don't set them uncomfortably. We set what we know.
What you think is realistic.
Yeah, right. So, of course, I have a number that I would like to hit, but I don't feel like that's like the highest it can go.
Yeah, man, I've had a very similar experience. I always knew that I would never stop, but there were times in my life where I felt like maybe it was impossible.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
If you feel that it's impossible, it is. You know, there's a man that thinks things are possible, and there's a man that thinks things are impossible, and they're both right.
So what do you think then is the...
Kanye said that. I didn't say that, but it sounds cool.
But it sounds cool. Why did you say? I'll cut that part out. And hey, Jordan Welch said that.
No, I didn't say that. I'm honest, bro.
So what do you think is then, or not even what do you think? What is, or are rather, if there's multiple, your guiding principles now to continue to pursue, you know, the greatest individual that you can be, right? Like, what is sort of your North Star and the principles that you are currently living your life by?
Lead with love and positivity, and be a man of integrity in the products that you create and the message that you spread to the world. And above all else, on and off camera, try to be a good human to every person that you meet.
You do that.
Well, thanks.
I can tell you do that. I've met a number of YouTubers. You're probably the nicest one.
I get it from my mama.
I'm sure Miss Welsh is
She's
an incredible lady.
She's the best human.
So, okay, so I'll close with this, right? Because I always try and keep these videos as actionable as possible. If I'm watching this video, and let's say I'm a 18, 19-year-old kid, young man. I only say that because that's my core demographic, right?
What's up, 18, 19-year-olds?
And maybe I love Jordan Welsh, right? I watch your videos. I think your journey is incredible. And I want to make something of myself. Presumably, I want to make some money, right? Maybe I want to grow a brand.
Yeah.
But I feel bogged down and lost at my stage of life, as I think a lot of us did around that age. Mm-hmm. What are the immediate steps I can take tomorrow to begin walking towards the right destination?
It's a big question, champ.
I know.
It's a big question. I think it's unique for everybody. because some people have a different skill set than others. What I'll say in general is that you need to understand what you have that other people might not have. Everybody has something that is a little bit unique about them. Then you need to understand the two most important skills to making money on the internet, and that is arbitrage and marketing. Arbitrage is the basic concept of taking products or services that are already out there and becoming the middleman to then distribute those to the world. This is what made me my first $1 million, and this is the best low-hanging fruit for anybody out there trying to make money on the internet. You have dropshipping, you have Amazon wholesale, you have Airbnb arbitrage, you have flipping items on Craigslist and OfferUp. Understanding arbitrage is one of the best ways to make money on the internet. And you need to understand marketing. Knowing how to create viral content on TikTok or short form is going to unlock a influx of money for you, an insane amount of money, because then you could offer this service for other people, you could launch your own business, you can literally do anything if you know that skill. There's also the advertising side of it as well, which goes into marketing. So if you can understand arbitrage and marketing, you combine those two things together, you can make a ton of money. And lastly, just look at you as a person. Do you live like somebody who could become a millionaire? Are your daily habits, are the things that you consume in line with the person that is a millionaire? If it's not, then you're not going to become that person. You're not that guy yet. You're not there yet.
You're not that guy.
Change those first. Study these principles, like I told you, of arbitrage and marketing, and understand that it's a long journey. If you're 18, 19 years old, have some patience. You're not going to be the next Luke Belmar, Iman Gadzhi. You're not going to make it at 16 years old. Have some patience, because this is a long game. Life is long. You have time. But just keep going every single day and try to do the best you can do on a daily.
Absolutely. And I appreciate those words, man. And I know that a lot of people watching these videos.
Somebody's watching this like, I am going to be the next Jordan. I'm going to be the next
Yeah,
Iman.
and to be fair,
And
someone will.
good,
Hey,
good.
Alex, who's on his trip,
Good.
is 17
Good.
doing like 120 a month in e-com. So
I wish that everybody that watches this video surpasses me and does better than me, because you know what that means? That this video had a real impact.
As do I, and I'm sure it will, and that's why I do these videos, man. I told you at the start, right? I am in love with telling stories that not only, you know, inspire people, oh, you can do it, but here's how I did it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that you objectively have one of the most interesting stories on YouTube, not only because of how publicly documented your success is.
Yeah. Thank you.
But because you lost it and then got it again, which is an experience that not even I have been through. And hope, knock on wood, wherever it is that doesn't happen to me. But
You'll be fine.
yeah, I hope so. It's an incredible story. But bro, I want to keep it brief today. I appreciate you coming on the channel.
For sure, bro.
Of course, if you aren't following Jordan, keeping up with his journey, you should be. Although a lot of you watching this video probably already are. I appreciate you, G, and we'll do it again sometime.
It was a pleasure, champ. Thank
you,
for having
my
me.
friend. Peace.